I think the bus industry is very good at rising to new challenges. It's a very flexible industry. It's an industry that's very close to its customers. And you're quite right to say that there are initiatives going on that increase the number of people who go by bus. But we do need to make sure that those initiatives are being rolled out across the whole of the country. There's tremendous experience, tremendous ideas in individual places, but one of the things that UK Bus Awards can do is, as a showcase for our industry, we can not only recognise success, but we can inspire new ideas as well. And an awful lot of what we've seen in the last few years is people building on the ideas that other people have had. And I think that's a tremendous part of our industry. We're very good at sharing best practice. So there are good ideas, but we need to keep developing them and keep building on them, and keep also taking account of the opportunities and the challenges that new technology brings. The UK Bus Awards has to reflect what our supporters and our entrants want from us. And the People Awards that we have are an absolutely crucial part of that whole scheme. We want to find a way of recognising the work that people do in our industry. It's a labour-intensive business. It relies upon people at the coalface, actually on parade, on show every day as drivers. We want to recognise them. We want to recognise the people who are working behind the scenes. The Unsung Hero Awards, which is so important for people who keep the business going every day through hell and high water, and actually sometimes through real high water as well. We also want to recognise the up-and-coming people. So those People Awards are a crucial part of what we're doing. We want to inspire new ideas from people. We want to inspire new people to see our industry as somewhere where they want to work, where they can be creative, where they can be themselves and actually make a difference to the communities that we serve.
It's important that we recognise all our staff, and particularly the ones that are out there on the front line, doing the job day in, day out for us. What social media's brought to us is the reaction time, and yes, it's a mixed bag of people venting frustration in the here and now because something's gone wrong, or wanting to let us know that one of our drivers has done a wonderful job, which is always great to hear. I think what we get more is when something does go wrong, we're able to react that much quicker to the customers. We're able to tell them what's going on. It's all about the information and the communication, and that very often results in a reply back saying, that's great, thank you very much, thanks for letting me know. And I think that's far better than the traditional, go home, maybe write a letter a couple of days later, or send an email and we might respond to it, the following day or something. It's all in the here and now. That makes a big difference, I think, for the customer. One of the things we're probably most proud of in Merseyside in the last 12-18 months is our decision to increase the young person's age to under 19 to offer better discounted travel for younger people, and we've seen some real growth in the young person's market as a result of doing that, and ensuring that our buses are branded and our fares are clearly marked on the vehicles for people to see. UK Bus Awards is really important, both for the industry and for obviously being able to showcase the industry to the outside world. Buses aren't what they used to be. Come on a long way in the last 10 years with the features that we now have on all our vehicles. I think from a staff point of view, it's really important that our staff embrace that, and that we can share that with them and give them the opportunity to know that they're working for a good operator, and that what they're doing out on the road day in, day out is rewarding and is recognised.
The thing really for us is to make sure that we actually meet our customer needs, and they're ever changing. Our customer expectations are certainly increasing all the time. It's about making sure that we provide the product and the service that the customer comes to expect. And then also we look at attracting new markets, particularly maybe focused around things like the youth market, where they are obviously the bus users of the future, to make sure that if we capture those early, they're likely to continue and actually use the bus as their preferred method of choice. And I think it's also really important that we work with local authority partners in all of these, because without great partnerships we wouldn't be able to deliver the products that we do. So it's quite a fast-paced changing environment, which is partly what I love about it. The great thing about social media is that it's instant. It's not the same as maybe calling up a customer services centre or emailing a customer services centre. You get the feedback there and then. Certainly as general manager of my area, I'm on our Twitter feed, so I can see in real time when I log in exactly what our customers are experiencing. Like you say, good and bad. I think social media is is everywhere these days, and any company who chooses not to engage with social media is really missing a trick. So social media is absolutely really important to us as a company. In terms of my area of responsibility, I've got a mixture of urban and non-urban services. Certainly that's true. I know in my area I certainly get letters personally addressed to me. Obviously, like we discussed, we do get the tweets and the Facebooks, we get people calling us. We sometimes get people even dropping into our depots, particularly one of my depots in Portsmouth, which is on one of the main roads out of Portsmouth, so it's quite easy for people to just pop in. We don't mind how people contact us. It doesn't have to be via social media, just because that's what's going on with some more tech-savvy people these days. If a customer has a comment to make, good or bad, then we want to hear about it, and we really don't mind how they contact us. It's the people that make the industry. My engineer manager was actually up for Engineer of the Year last year. I put him forward, so I firmly believe that the People Awards are very, very important to not just the industry, but particularly the people that work in the industry, and recognising the hard work that they do. And it's not just about the MDs of the bus company and what work they put in, because actually without all the people underneath them, we would never achieve what we set out to achieve. So I think the People Awards are so important to boost the morale in the depots, because we go through good times and we go through bad times, and somebody coming back with an award, it's just a lovely, lovely feeling, and to see the smile on their individual's face, and also the pride that their family have in them winning an award, which I've seen firsthand, which is lovely. So no, the People Awards are a very, very important part of the UK Bus Awards.
I think the whole reputation of the company depends on the quality of service you operate. I mean, in a sense, anyone can just run a bus between A and B, but it's much harder to run a bus that is on time, with polite, friendly drivers, with a caring service that puts the customer first, the buses that are clean and looked after. To run it to a standard like that is much harder, but that's what sets out some companies from others. I think the most important thing for us over the years has been to be a company that is basically very customer focused, and we tell all our drivers that, first of all, the drivers are the most important people in the company. It's not me, it's the drivers, because they're the ones the public see, and the standards of the company rise and fall dependent on how the drivers are treating people. And so we expect all our drivers to go the extra mile to be looking after people, and that is the most important part that's helped us build the company. We've got an excellent reputation now for being a friendly and caring company, and I'm very proud of that. We find we get lots of compliments from our customers. I have to say that it's not entirely focused on social media. We get lots of ordinary phone calls and letters, etc. And I think because of the sort of routes that we operate, mainly rural routes, probably a high percentage of our passengers are older people to whom they'd rather make a phone call and speak to someone. And we actually pride ourselves on saying, you ring us up, you'll get a voice at the end of the phone, not a menu, not an answering machine, you'll speak to someone personally. And we encourage people to do that. So whilst obviously social media is important, I wouldn't want to see that ever take the place of the personal contact of the drivers and also our office staff.
From our perspective, we work with stakeholders across the industry, so local authorities, bus groups, transport groups, and it's a really good opportunity for us to see what's happening in other parts of the industry, to be inspired, for our junior staff to look at what could be achieved, and across the board to network with people that have done some great things across the country. We don't really get another forum for doing that. Well, we tend to do our marketing by providing excellent services to our stakeholders, so most of it's internal. So our successes have been in putting data from 52 different sources into one place, so that companies like Google and Microsoft and First Group can use it in their journey planners for free. That's our marketing, in a sense. We also have an API for real-time systems, where we have 52 real-time systems into one, and that's freely available. So in terms of marketing our open data, it kind of speaks for itself, because it's the only place in the world that you can get it. For us, it's really important to respond as quickly as we can to any comments we get, whether they're positive or negative, because being honest about what you think and what the problem is and what can be solved is the most important part of putting it right. We don't, in Travelline, have a Facebook or a Twitter page, but we do have a website, and we sell our apps on App Store, so our comments get posted and they're there forever. So we need to be really careful about making sure that when people tell us there are things wrong, that we apologise and that we listen and we put them right. And social media for us is a great way of dealing with that. And as we look to the future, we start to look at the Twitter feeds and Facebook posts that are being provided by operators and local authorities across the UK, and we start to wonder how possible it would be to bring those into one place where they could be used as an API for developers to attach to journeys or journey plans or to their own apps. If you just look at some of the finalists that have been put forward today for the Bus Awards, and some of the marketing initiatives, some of the services where the services are much quicker, they've got better services on board, customer service is improving all the time. This sort of event encourages excellent people to come into the industry and to remain in the industry. So I think the bus industry will continue to grow. We're starting to see things like shared transport become part of how we offer transport in the UK. From my perspective and TIL's perspective, we sort of work in an organisation that represents local authorities, transport groups and operators, and awards like this give us the opportunity to understand the innovations that are happening all across Great Britain and throughout the industry.
It's always very challenging to grow the market, especially where bus use in a city like Oxford is already very high. The key is working collaboratively with local authority partners to be very tough on parking, make sure parking is very expensive so that you've got the sticks as well as the carrot of providing a really good bus service. That then makes it more difficult for people who perhaps wouldn't use buses otherwise to actually give the bus a go and grow the market organically by convincing people to come out of their cars who otherwise wouldn't have. I mean, Oxford's always been well known for doing the right thing for the environment. It basically had the greenest fleet in the country at one time, and it's still up there amongst the best of them today. So the promotion of our hybrid buses, our gyro drive buses, and latterly our Euro 6 buses, and basically giving the message across that we always buy the best emission buses to make sure that we look after the quality environment city that we run in Oxford, is a really powerful message to show that we're part of the community, we're doing the right thing, and we're doing our very best to keep the air clean that we all breathe. Social media is incredibly useful, and it comes into its own in times of bad weather, for example, where your customers are telling you firsthand the service that they're experiencing, where things are running well, where they're running not so well. And I think it's important that customers see you as accessible through that channel, and that it's actually staffed at the times that people expect it to be staffed. Now, certainly at Oxford Bus Company, we run it 7 days a week. The social media channels are staffed for as long as the customer services department is staffed. And I think that is the best way you can be, where customers see that they can access you 7 days a week at a time that suits them. What I think is really important about the award, it's inspiring all the staff that work for us, whether you be a driver, whether you be an engineer, whether you be in a support function, whether you be a manager. It's really inspiring you to do your very best, to be the best that you can be, to achieve great things. And some people doubt that even by making a small difference to what they do on a day-to-day basis, it can make a big difference to what our customers feel and improves the quality of the service we can deliver. And I think putting ourselves forward for awards at the UK Bus Awards and winning those awards basically shows confidence in everyone that works within the business, that even making those small improvements, we can all make a big difference to deliver the very best service to our customers.
We are recognising specifically the young managers who are, of course, the people who are going to be running our industry for the next 20 or 30 years. It's a great delight to watch the Young Managers Award. It's a great delight to meet them, to hear them talking about the things they find exciting about the industry, to listen to the enthusiasm they bring, and of course the new ideas they bring. And if you look at the demographics of the people who travel by bus, clearly we've got a lot of young people travelling there. We've got a lot of young people going to school, to education, a lot of young people just starting out in work, and having young managers who are able to reflect that in the demographic is a vital part of our future. It's great to see many companies now seeing how they can use that social media and the speed, the instantaneous nature of it, to help them to understand what's happening to their services. There are many situations in which finding something out through Twitter or WhatsApp or whatever it may be actually the first you've heard of something that's gone wrong. And isn't that great then to have that information straight away so you can react to it? So I think that social media is a challenge because we have to be able to manage it. We have to be able to speak in the language that social media users want us to speak in. There's a language register which is quite different from what you would use if you were writing a letter. And we must be able to respond to it instantaneously. But it is a clear, direct, instant link to our customers. And they are the customers who are expecting that instant link from everything else they have in their life. They take a phone out of their pocket and they expect to be able to order a meal or to order a taxi or to speak to their bus company. And if we aren't responding to all that, we're going to get left behind. So challenges, of course, benefits, great, but it is that direct line of communication to our users that's so important. UK Bus Awards needs to continue to evolve and develop as our industry evolves and develops. And we've got new challenges coming along, we've got new ideas from the new technology. This year we've been looking at our categories, and for 2016 we've got our New Horizons category. And I'm very enthusiastic about that. We want something which recognises that there are different ways of approaching our customers, different ways of approaching customer service. It's a wow, who would have thought of that type of award? And I think that will be the hallmark of what we are going forward. We're going to be looking for yet more innovation, yet more new ways of serving our customers, yet more good ways of supporting the communities we serve.